Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 9 p.m. English News Edition. Here are the top stories. The head of state chairs the Council of Ministers. And in Washington, D.C., Djibouti strengthened its partnerships in Washington. Mr. Ilyas Moussa Dawale presenting the United States. And for the international news, Hamas confirms Qatar warns the United States monitors the tense ceasefire. And now, as I mentioned on the title, presided over by the President of the Republic and Head of Government, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, the Council of Ministers held its 15th session of the year this morning, Tuesday, October 21st. During this session, the ministers discussed the various draft laws. The session also included presentation by some ministers who reported on official missions they had carried out recently. The report.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Sous la présidence de Son Excellence, M. Ismail Omar Guelleh, Président de la République, chef des gouvernements, a eu lieu ce mardi 21 octobre 2025, la 15e séance du Conseil des ministres.
Bill on the adoption of the financial statements of the National Agency for Persons with Disabilities, AMPH, for fiscal year 2024. The financial statements of the National Agency for Persons with Disabilities for fiscal year 2024 show total revenues of 574.6 million Djiboutian francs and total expenditures of 612.2 million Djiboutian francs, resulting in a net deficit of 37.6 million Djiboutian francs. Ministry of Urban Planning, Housing and the City. Bill approving the financial statements of the Urban Rehabilitation and Social Housing Agency, ARILOS, for the fiscal year 2024. The financial statements of the Urban Rehabilitation for Social Housing Agency, ARILOS, for 2024 record a net profit of 1,115 million Djiboutian francs compared to 117.1 million Djiboutian francs in 2023, representing a slight decrease of 1.8%. Ministry of Commerce and Tourism. Third question. Bill approving the financial statements of the Djibouti Office of Industrial and Commercial Property, ODPIC, for the fiscal year 2024. The financial statements of the Djibouti Office for Industrial and Commercial Property, ODBEC, for fiscal year 2024 show an operating surplus of 32.4 million Djiboutian francs with revenue of 299.5 million Djiboutian francs and expenses of 267.1 million Djiboutian francs. Ministry of the Economy, Finance in charge of Industry. Fourth question. Draft decree granting state guarantee to the company Grand Bara Solar SAS. This draft decree authorizes the state to extend the sovereign guarantee to Grand Bara Solar SAS, a subsidiary of the AIMA Power Limited Group. The project falls under a strategic public-private partnership aimed at the design, construction, and operation of a solar power plant in Grand Bara in southern Djibouti. This initiative forms part of the government's energy diversification strategy, one of the key pillars of its renewable energy policy. The project aims to increase national electricity production capacity and meet the growing demand, particularly in rural and industrial areas, in a sustainable manner. Ministry of Youth and Culture. Fifth question. Draft order establishing a single standardized deposit form for its definitive archives. The draft order seeks to introduce a mandatory industrialized deposit from the submission of definitive archives. The measure is part of a broader administrative modernization effort and will support the National Emergency Archives Plan by ensuring clear transferability, full transparency, and greater reliability in the transfer and management of public archives. Ministry of Labor in charge of Formalization and Social Protection. Draft decree on appointments. At the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mrs. Zamzam Dileita Mohammed, Mr. Halun Ali Asso, Mr. Muhammad Ahmed Ismail, and Mr. Urbis Ralaf Urbis are appointed technical advisors to the Minister. Mrs. Wafa Qasim Ali is appointed Director of Communication, Documentation, and Archives. Mr. Elteri Mohammed Qaed is appointed Director of General Administration and Studies. Mr. Hassan Umar Mohammed is appointed Director of the Diplomatic Institute. At the Ministry of Women and Family, Mr. Abdurrahman Jami' Rijal and Mr. Muhammad Ismail Abdullahi are appointed technical advisors to the Minister. At the Ministry of Labor in charge of Formalization and Social Protection, Mr. Ahmed Saad Sultan is appointed technical advisor to the Minister. Communications. The Prime Minister, Mr. Abdul Ghadir Kamil Mohammed, reported on his participation in the 4th Global Food Forum and the Hand-in-Hand Investment Forum, organized by the Food and Agriculture Organization, held in Rome from 10 to 17 October 2025. The Minister of Commerce and Tourism presented a mission report on his participation in Djibouti's National Day and Pavilion at the Osaka 2025 World Expo held on Yomishima Island, Japan from 13 April to 13 October 2025 under the theme Designing Future Society for Our Lives. His attendance at the 7th meeting of the Council of Ministers of the African Continental Free Trade Area held in Cairo, Egypt from 15 to 16 September 2025. The conclusions of the 24th COMESA Summit held in Nairobi, Kenya from 8 to 9 October 2025 on the theme Optimizing Digitization to Strengthen Regional Value Chains for Sustainable and Inclusive Growth. The Minister Delegate for Digital Economy and Innovation reported on her participation in the Global Gateway Forum 2025 held in Brussels from 8 to 9 October 2025 under the theme Partnerships in a Geopolitical Age. The Minister of Youth and Culture provided an update on preparations for the Pan-African Youth Forum 2025 to be held in Djibouti from 4 to 6 November 2025 under the theme From Aspirations to Actions, Youth as Catalysts of Sustainable Development, organized in partnership with the African Union Commission. The event will bring together young African leaders, entrepreneurs, and innovators to discuss key youth-related issues such as education, employment, health, social education, civic participation, and governance. The Secretary General of the Government reported on the African Forum of Official Gazettes and the National Exhibition Heritage Djibouti 2025 held in Djibouti from 15 to 16 October 2025 under the high patronage of the President of the Republic. The first edition, which brought together delegations from 18 African nations, marked a historic milestone in strengthening legal governance across the continent. On the sidelines, the Heritage Djibouti 2025 exhibition, inaugurated by the head of state, showcased Djibouti's historical, documentary, and intangible heritage, highlighting the connection between institutional memory and public service modernization. Finally, it was announced that the second edition of the African Forum of Official Gazettes will also be hosted by the Republic of Djibouti next year.
And now the Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. Abdulkadir Kamil Mohammed, signed the Book of Condolences at the Embassy of the Republic of Kenya in Djibouti following the passing of the former Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of Kenya, Mr. Raila Odinga. The Prime Minister extended his condolences to the friendly Republic of Kenya, to its leadership, government and people, while also paying tribute to the legacy Mr. Odinga left at both the national and continental levels. He further highlighted the historical ties and fruitful cooperation between Djibouti and Kenya. And now the President of the National Assembly, His Excellency Honorable Dilator Mohamed Dilator, received today, Tuesday, Mrs. Shenawi Lilia, President of the Parliamentary Network for Climate. The meeting was attended by Mrs. Ilaya Ismail, Chairperson of the Production Committee and Head of the Project Steering Committee, and Mr. Abdurrahman Awala, Chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee and Member of the Project Committee, Mr. Saida Omar, and Mr. Idris Ahmed Mohammed, Director of the National Assembly Office. The discussion is focused on strengthening cooperation between the National Assembly and the Parliamentary Network for Climate. The talks also addressed the important role of the parliamentarians in promoting sustainable public policies and mobilizing funding to support renewable energy projects. And now Djibouti strengthens international partnership on the sidelines of the World Bank Group annual meetings, Washington, D.C. On the sidelines of the World Bank Group annual meetings, Djibouti's Minister of Economy and Finance, Mr. Ilyas Moussa Dawali, held a high-level meeting with the President of the African Development Bank, Mr. Sidi Ould Tah. This meeting provided an opportunity to explore avenues of cooperation between Djibouti and the AFDB, as well as the discussion and new initiatives aimed at promoting sustainable development across the African continent. Mr. Ilyas Moussa Dawali expressed his satisfaction with Mr. Ould Tah's clear vision and unwavering commitment to Africa's transformation. Still in Washington, D.C., in a separate meeting, His Excellency Ilyas Moussa Dawali also held a productive discussion with the Director General of the International Organization for Migration. The conversation focused on the realities of the migration corridor that passes through Djibouti, a key strategic crossroad for thousands of migrants seeking better living conditions Minister Ilyas Musa Dawali emphasized Djibouti's critical role in managing these flows with dignity and humanity, despite the growing burden caused by regional crisis. The meeting also offered a platform to explore joint initiatives to enhance cooperation between Djibouti and the IOM in tackling migration and humanitarian challenges in the region. Djibouti participates in the 50th Turkey-Africa Economic and Business Forum. Djibouti took part in the 50th Turkey-Africa Economic and Business Forum held on October 16 and 17, 2025 in Istanbul, Turkey. This major event brought together policymakers and economic stakeholders under the theme addressing global economic fluctuation, strengthening the Turkey-Africa partnership. The Djiboutian delegation was led by His Excellency Mohamed Warsame Dirie, Minister of Trade and Tourism of Djibouti, and included a high-level team comprising Mrs. Hibo Osman Ahmed, the Secretary General of the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Ali Omar Yusuf, First Consul of the Djiboutian Embassy, Mr. Othman Abdi Mohamed, and Mr. Awale Jama Osman. Organized in the Turkish Foreign Economic Relations Board in cooperation with the African Union and hosted by the Turkish Ministry of Trade. The forum was held under the high patronage of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and the African Union's Economic Commission. The event was attended by African trade ministers and private sector leaders from across the continent. On the sidelines of the forum, the Djiboutian Minister, Mr. Mohamed Warsame Dirie, held productive bilateral talks with Turkish Minister of Trade. Both ministers reaffirmed their shared commitment to deepening economic and trade relations, encouraging mutual investment and fostering stronger ties between their respective business communities. And now in his address, the Djiboutian Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mr. Mohamed Warsame Dirie, emphasized the importance of strengthening economic and trade relations between Africa and Turkey in order to establish a clear and coherent framework for enhancing this partnership. He stressed the need to build a mutually beneficial, sustainable, and also stable partnership, especially in the face of current global economic fluctuation. The minister also pointed out that Africa is undergoing profound economic transformation and that diversifying its economy is essential for achieving inclusive development. And now the Minister of Decentralization, Mr. Qasim Harouna Ali, met with a delegation from the French Development Agency, AFD, which included its local director, two project managers, and a project official from AFD's headquarters in Paris. The latter is currently on a supervisory mission in Djibouti to relaunch the AFD-funded project supporting the city of Djibouti and its 3 municipalities. The minister concluded the meeting by affirming his full commitment to using all powers of its disposal to advance the project. And now the MENFOP, the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, organized the closing ceremony for a training course on digital professions as part of the Train Yourself in Digital Technology project. The event was held in the presence of the MENFOP Secretary General, guests from various companies and digital sector specialists. A total of 240 young Djiboutians successfully completed the training in 3 main specialties: cybersecurity, mobile app development, and web development. The Secretary General congratulated the young graduates on their commitment and determination throughout the training period. He also emphasized the importance of entrepreneurial spirit and encouraged them to consider launching their own project to boost their professional integration into the rapidly growing job market. The ceremony also provided an opportunity to highlight the government's ongoing effort in vocational training aimed at equipping youth with the necessary skills to effectively enter the labor market. And now Mr. Mohamed Abdullah Bahyoub, the Secretary General of MENFOP, emphasized the critical importance of the digital sector in today's economy and the numerous job opportunities it provides. This training program, implemented in partnership with the International Organization of the Francophonie, reflects the Minister's commitment to making Djibouti a dynamic and innovative digital hub capable of meeting the challenges of tomorrow. Now, the second edition of the Quran memorization competition kicked off the afternoon of Monday at the King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Mosque, organized by the religious attaché of the Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in cooperation with the Ministry of Muslim Affairs and Waqf. The competition is held across the three main levels: memorization of the entire Quran, 15 parts, 5 parts, about 200 male and female participants from Djibouti city in the regions, mostly from Quran memorization centers affiliated with Arabic schools, are competing. The Blessed Quranic, the Blessed Quran al-Karim event began with an official opening ceremony held in a solemn spiritual atmosphere. It is noteworthy that this competition reflects deep fraternal relations firmly established between the peoples of Djibouti and Saudi Arabia, as well as the kingdom's dedication to serving the Quran and its memorizers worldwide. In his opening speech, Sheikh Abdurrahman Shamsuddin expressed his sincere gratitude and appreciation to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for its continued support of religious program in Djibouti. He also praised the joint effort exerted by the Ministry of Muslim Affairs and Waqf and the Saudi religion attaché in promoting the Quranic values and spreading the culture of moderation and balance. Following the opening speech delivered by the acting executive secretary of the Supreme Islamic Council, the final rounds of the competition commenced in an atmosphere filled with faith and honorable competition. Contestants took turns ascending the podium and recite the verse of Allah with reverence and precision before the judging panel composed of distinguished group of scholars. The United Youth Association successfully concluded with the National Youth Action Day for Climate Change Adaptation, and the patronage of the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development in cooperation with the Global Center on the Adaptation, the UN System Coordination Office, and supported by the allies. Dynamic thematic workshop focused on climate priorities. 140 young women and men exchange ideas on concrete proposals enriched by their local initiatives such as community reforestation and awareness campaigns in school. These ideas will contribute to preparing a final report for national authorities and the 30th Conference of the Parties, the COP30. The movement expressed deep gratitude to its valuable partners, the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development, the Global Center on Adaptation, the UN System Coordination Office, the Allies, the African Climate Justice Allies. And now the Ministry of Communication in charge of Post and Telecommunication is striving to implement the Digital Djibouti Foundation project, which enhances national digital infrastructure and improves access for public institutions and citizens to digital services. After the capital and the 5 interior regions, the sub-region of Damerjog now joins the national broadband internet network. Thanks to this connection, public institutions such as remote district, schools, and healthcare facilities in Damerjog will benefit from stable and high-speed internet. Among the direct beneficiaries, Damerjog High School, with over 1,200 students, will receive fiber optic connection of the latest generation. This technology advancement will enable teachers and students to access online education resources, enhance educational research, and improve teaching quality. And now in Dikhil, consultation tour of Dikhil region, the prefect Hassan Abdi Roble in the sub-district of Asaila, Yoboki, and Mulud, the reports.
As part of effort to reinforce institutional dialogue and strengthen relations between territorial administration and traditional authorities, the Prefecture of the region organized from October 12 to 20, 2025 a series of consultation meetings across the region's 3 sub-prefectures. This extensive tour, led by Hassan Abdi Roble, Prefect of the region, is part of a policy of proximity and active listening to the concern of the local population through their traditional representatives. The consultation tour began in the sub-prefecture of Asaila, where the prefectural delegation was warmly welcomed by Habib Mohammed Ahmed, sub-prefect of Asaila, together with all customary authorities of the area. This first meeting, held in an atmosphere of mutual respect and trust, laid the foundation for a constructive and transparent dialogue. Discussion took place in the sub-prefecture's community hall, during which customary authorities were able to express their concern, Prefect Hassan Abdi Roble praised the commitment of traditional chiefs in supporting public policies and their mediation role with the population. He reaffirmed the regional administration's determination to work closely with these key actors in local development through a participative and inclusive approach. This first stage helped strengthen the basis for sustainable collaboration and set the groundwork for a renewed partnership between the territorial administration and the traditional authorities of Az'ila. On October 15, the prefectural mission continued to Yuboki, the second stop on the consultation tour. The delegation was warmly welcomed by Habib Roble Dabbar, sub-prefect of Yuboki, in the presence of all customary chiefs of the area, demonstrating the strong mobilization and interest of traditional authorities in this dialogue process. The meetings were held in the sub-prefecture's community hall in a spirit of constructive consultation and with full respect for local traditions and values. The customary authorities presented a series of grievances. The consultation tour concluded on Monday, October 20, in the sub-prefecture of Mulud, where Prefect Hassan Abdi Roble, accompanied by his team, was received by Musa Ahmed Ugurre, sub-prefect of Mulud, surrounded by all customary authorities of the area. This final stage, as important as the previous ones, allowed the series of meetings to end on a positive and encouraging note.
And now for the regional news, 70 ministerial meeting on locust control and regional food security held in Ethiopia. Under the team Transboundary Pest Management for Regional Food Security, the meeting gathered representatives from member states. During the opening session, the Minister of Agriculture emphasized that pest challenges cannot be tackled by a single country alone, and highlighted the critical role of regional cooperation, which has effectively curbed the locust outbreaks in recent years through a partnership with specialized international organizations. And now for the international news, as I mentioned in the title, Hamas reaffirms commitment to Gaza ceasefire amid ongoing humanitarian aid. The details with this video.
UN expressed deep concern over escalating violence in Gaza and calls for protection of civilians. And European humanitarian crossing the United Nations has expressed a deep concern over the resurgence of violence in the Gaza Strip, following a series of deadly attacks that threaten to shatter the fragile ceasefire between Israel and the Palestinian resistance movement Hamas. The spokesperson for the Secretary General, Stefan Dujarric, said the UN is following with great concern report of rapidly deteriorating humanitarian situation in Gaza, stressing that civilians are bearing the brunt of the conflict.
And now the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia hosted the 2025 Global Internet of Things Conference in Riyadh. The reports.
Riyadh to host the 2025 World Internet of Things Congress. The 2025 World Internet of Things Congress will be held in Riyadh from October 21 to 23, organized by the Saudi Internet of Things Association (LOTEA) in a strategic partnership with the Communication, Space and Technology Commission (CST) under the patronage of the Mr. Haytham bin Abdurrahman Al Ahli, acting governor of the CST. A major event in the region, the Congress is to only a specialized Internet of Things lot forum in the Middle East and North Africa, bringing together government leaders, technology experts, and researchers to discuss the role of the lot in Saudi Arabia digital and transformation, a key pillar of the Vision 2030. The program includes a presentation from the Saudi Arabia Data and Artificial Intelligence Authority (SDA), the Minister of Transport and Logistics, and the Minister of the Hajj and Umrah, addressing topics such as smart mobility, the responsible integration of artificial intelligence, and moving the pilgrim experience through connecting technologies.
And now this is it for this 9 p.m. English News edition. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more on RTD.